This is a demonstration of how you can add a complaint to one of your cases. So in this example, I am currently logged in as a recovery agency, but the same process would apply for both lenders and forwarders as well. You can also add a complaint to any status of a case. So you can see here I'm logged in on an open case, but this would apply for holds, closes, as well as a repossessed status. Once you're logged in, on the far right corner under options, if I click on this, I can go to create complaint and I will get this pop up. The hierarchy, if there are more than one agency that is applied to the case, I can select which agency this is applicable to, and only the one that I select will be able to see the complaint, as well as the forwarder and lender that are involved in the case as well. The creator is always going to default to the person who is logged in, and that's not something that you can edit. The complainant name is a free text field, so you can enter anything here. The reason for that is we recognize that the person making the complaint could be somebody that's not directly already associated to the complaint. So somebody like a neighbor that's saying that the mailbox was damaged, something like that. So I'll go ahead and enter that name. The source is a drop-down list that you can select where you're hearing this complaint from. So I'm going to go ahead and select neighbor in this case. Incident date refers to the date that this complaint or the incident of the complaint actually occurred. So I will select yesterday. Report date is asking when this is actually being reported. And then the claim start date would be your discretion of when you want to say you're actually starting the investigation for this claim. The offender is always going to list all of the parties on the case. So that's going to include the lender, forwarder if applicable, the agency, as well as the borrower. So in this particular example, I'll go ahead and select the borrower. And then the priority you can set as either high, medium, or low. And then the category, again, is a drop-down list that you can select what type of complaint this is. So for this example, I'll go ahead and say vehicle damage. In the details section, we recommend listing as much detail as possible regarding the complaint, because anybody reviewing the complaint, this is where they're going to get the bulk of their information. So you can list your details here. You also have the ability to include an attachment, and you can do JPEG, PDF, Word docs, as well as MP3 and MP4 files. I'll go ahead and select this photo, and then I'll save this, this particular complaint. And once I do, I can go to my complaint chevron at the very end of my workflow here. You'll notice that it's in bright red, and that's to indicate that there is an open complaint on this particular case. I see that there is one that's closed. That's obviously not the one that we just submitted. And then I can go here where I can see that it says complaint identified. That would be the open complaint. How you can mark a response on a complaint. So you can see here we already have an existing complaint on the case page. And in order to make that response, as long as it's not currently resolved, I can still respond on it. I have this plus sign here, so we know that I can still make that response. I'll click on that. This pop-up opens. I have a drop-down to choose accept, refute, compromise, or reply. So I'm labeling what type of response this is. So I can either accept the complaint or the notes on this particular complaint. I can refute, basically refuse or disagree with the complaint, offer a compromise to the solution, or just a simple reply of information. So I'll go ahead and select reply. This is where I will enter the details of this particular response. And then I'm also able to add an attachment. And this is where I can do PDF, JPEGs. I can also do MP3 and MP4 files. I'll go ahead and select that, and then I just save that. And once that's saved to the complaint, I should see a nice big red box right here. If I click on the plus sign, it will expand the information that I have left on that. And then I can also come in here and view the attachments. How you can mark a resolution on a complaint. So you can see here I am already logged into Recovery Connect. I have loaded up a particular case page that has an existing complaint, and now I'm going to mark the resolution. Only the complaint owner as well as the lender can mark a resolution. So you can see I have this plus sign, which means I can mark the resolution. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. This pop-up, the first option I have here is to mark the type of resolution. So you can see here, I can say closed with explanation if there is monetary relief, or something like closed with relief or lack of interest. So go ahead and select that one. Resolution date. This is the day that you're saying that the resolution has occurred and that you're marking this complaint completely resolved. So I'll go ahead and select today's date. If you had select that there was monetary relief, you can select the amount that was also paid out for that particular one. So I'll go ahead and change this. And then the complaint valid. Both complaint valid plus controllable, these are purely just data points. So if you say that, yes, this was a valid complaint, you would mark this button here so that it is highlighted. If you are saying that it's not, you can leave that blank, and then controllable, whether or not this was something that could have been prevented. If it was, you would mark this enable it. The responsible party, this is going to list all of the applicants on the complaint. So that's going to include the lender, forwarder, agency, as well as the borrower. So I'll go ahead and mark the forwarder as the responsible party in this case, and then you can leave some information as well in this free text field. Once you have added all of the details that you want for your resolution, you'll hit save. And once that loads, that will mark this particular complaint resolved. You can always look at the information by expanding it here. The only person that can edit a resolution on a complaint is the lender. So if you notice that there is some type of issue with the information listed here, you'd have to contact them so they can help you update that.